Hello YouTube, we are back with the third episode of Turnabout Deception Part 1. What happened that evening? I had an appointment with Mr. Tyron that evening. He picked me up, so we arrived at his apartment together. After we had been talking for a while, it happened. I stabbed him. I used the knife to kill him. Wow. Can somebody please wake me up from this nightmare? Your witness, Mr. Silver. Please do not forget that there are still some open questions. And it is your duty during this cross-examination to find the answers. Okay, so if she really is innocent, she must be lying, and that means I must prove she is perjuring. I guess it's the lesser of two evils. The defense is ready for the cross-examination, Your Honor. Yeah. What happened that evening? I had an appointment with Mr. Tyron that evening. He picked me up, so we arrived at his apartment together. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I think I'll just press. An appointment? Yes, he wanted to help me with a problem I had. It was short-term, though. We only knew of it for a day. Makes sense, considering he cancelled our appointment on the same day. He picked me up, so we arrived at his apartment together. Do you remember the time of your arrival? I think it was around 7:30. 7:36 to be exact. That's a very precise allegation, Mr. Billy. The elevators of the building have a security camera. The recordings show Miss Hammond and Mr. Tyron entering the elevator at exactly 7:36. I see. So, what happened once you were in the apartment? Alrighty. After we had been talking for a while, it happened. What happened? What do you mean? What happened? I tried to steal something from his apartment. What? Oh, this sounds believable. Mr. Tyron wasn't exactly poor. He cut me, however. He seemed angry and I got into a panic. I took the knife and you killed him. After all his generosity towards you. What now? Should I ask some more questions about this? What did you try to steal? Was it valuable? That is not of interest here. You should stick to the facts of the actual crime, Mr. Silver. Objection sustained. Aww. Oh boy. Please tell me where you were at that moment. Where did you get caught stealing? Allow me to illustrate. This is the living room. And I was about here, next to this cupboard. Using your left hand again? Why does this little detail keep coming to my eye? The victim's body was found near that exact cupboard. Apparently there were some valuables on it. So everything happened right there in the living room? This sounds important. Yes, that's right. Your Honor, the defense asks the witness to add this statement to her testimony. Request sustained. Please amend your testimony accordingly, Miss Hammond. The information should help getting an idea of how exactly everything happened. This is a plan of Mr. Tyron's apartment. I took the liberty to mark the victims and the murderer's position on it. Da 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 da. That's all? You say you attacked Mr. Tyron just because he caught you stealing? He looked angry when he caught me. I was in panic. Come on, Miss Hammond, think. That can't be everything.
Objection!
Mr. Silver, stop attacking the witness like that this instant. So sorry. What was I thinking? She's my client, damn it. Watch what you say, Mr. Silver. Miss Hammond, please continue your testimony. I know.
Objection!
Dang it. No.
Objection!
Huh.
Hold it!
Press. You mean the murder weapon? This exact knife? Exactly. The fingerprints on the weapon leave no doubt to this. So, who does it belong to? What do you mean? I mean, if it was your own knife, or if it belonged to Mr. Tyrant. Oh, it belonged to Mr. Tyrant. I grabbed it after he caught me stealing. So it was his knife. But I can't help but to think that there's more to it. Should I press R? Press R! Miss Hammond, please tell me more about the knife. Where did you pick it up from? It was from the kitchen. I took it up from there. It is a kitchen knife after all, Mr. Silver. Thanks a lot, Captain Obvious. This information could prove valuable. Alrighty. Well, taken from the victim's kitchen. And she'd there's something important here.
Objection!
Oh, come on.
Objection!
There we go. Miss Hammond, that does not make sense at all. But what do you mean? This statement clearly contradicts the evidence that was presented to the court. Interesting, and what evidence exactly might that be? That's what I would like to know too, Mr. Silver. It is the murder weapon, Your Honor. Oh, and I am sure you could tell us why you think there's a problem with that. Mr. Blake has a point, you know. Please show us what makes you think that there's a problem with the murder weapon, Mr. Silver.
Take that!
Okay, good. Let's have a closer look at these plans. We can now also determine where the murder weapon was taken from. Updated with the murder weapon's location. Wow. And if we look at the updated plans now, the problem is obvious. The murder weapon is clearly out of reach. Let's recall what Miss Hammond said. She told us that she grabbed the knife for the moment she got caught stealing. But how is that possible if the murder weapon was in another room at that moment? Hehe. Well observed, Mr. Silver, but we should ask ourselves one question. Was the murder weapon really in the kitchen at that moment? What do you mean? She clearly said it was from the kitchen. May I remind you of what I said earlier, Mr. Silver? It is a kitchen knife after all, Mr. Silver. My own exact words. It is an obvious thought that a knife like this comes from a kitchen. Ah! Yeah. Excuse me. I must have gotten confused about the knife. It was there, on the cupboard. Allow me to explain. I concur. A testimony about the murder weapon should clear things up. Fine then. Please testify about the murder weapon, Miss Hammond. Wow. And that resolved really quickly. So I'll continue with the next testimony. I have a bad feeling about this. Because that one was short. Although I'll end the video here. I like doing this testimony by testimony. Because it keeps things short, or of course long, if the testimony goes on for a long time. So, I shall see you in the next video, YouTube. Goodbye.